right. Let's go. My name is Law Nation. L-A-W. Nation. Let's go. Yeah. Come on, nation. Come on, nation. Let's go. Hey. Come on. All right. Really appreciate you all. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Yes, let's go. Hey. All right. I cannot believe it. It's me, Cowboy Nation, your favorite host, Law Nation, with no hesitation, right? I know you guys wearing out that like button. Share this thing, subscribe to this thing, and check this out. Yesterday, I had an issue with the phone line for your mind, so therefore I opened up a whole situation, whole new feel, a whole new flavor, right? 515-604-9318. The pin to get you in is 709-148. Hit me up at that particular situation and you will reserve your spot. This is an old school number for those who follow my channel when I was way in 2016 and 17. You guys will be familiar with that number. The comparison analysis point is always will be a comparison and analysis between Dak Prescott and the other quarterbacks. You might as well throw in Pat Money Mahomes now, right? He will forever be compared. He will be forever put out there to the echoes of the airwaves of sitting there saying that, okay, are you good as Pat Mahomes? That's the the $503 million questioning, right? Or $500 million. That's what we got to talk about, right? Half, not a piece or a third, but half. Nevertheless, you guys know that I'm always here for you all. And we're going to go over what First Take or Undisputed, however you call those episodes, said. And trust me, like I said yesterday, just wait. They will open it up saying, Dak Prescott, remember this. Remember this if you guys don't hear anything else from me. This thing always will be Dak Prescott, the Dallas Cowboys, and the news and echoes of the airways forever. That's just how it goes. All right, so let's listen in to what they have to say, and I'll give you guys my feedback, if that's okay with you all.
Contract in sports history. But with Mahomes getting paid, it's bound to have a domino effect on quarterbacks about to hit free agency. One of which is Dak Prescott, who has been franchise tagged and is still waiting for his new contract this summer. The Cowboys have until next Wednesday to work on this deal with Dak. And joining us now is Super Bowl champion and Fox college football analyst, Reggie Bush. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us, Reggie.
Good morning.
Reggie, before I go into details of Reggie Bush, I have to say this. And you guys see the little, insert that I got below the TV screen on my 15-inch TV screen over there. That thing looking nice, right? 15? Yeah, it's 10 inches, but y'all like it though. All right, you see the 38.5, right? Y'all want to know what that really is all about? I'm gonna read some of y'all comments, man, so that I know for sure we on the same page here. Shout out to Derek Thomas, man, mighty last name. Nothing but the best from Landon. Really appreciate you, man. It is what it is, and I'm telling you guys, I hit people with so much facts, man. They can just walk into the barbershop and be like, yeah, Law hit me up with this, man. I could take it as money now because Law is bringing out the facts. Makes my teeth white, make my skin feel smooth. It make my beard hair grow, James, what's good, baby? He says $2 holla, man, pay Dak. Oh, and he just gave the segue. The 38.5 is Rain Dakota Prescott market value. That's his market value. Law, that you make that number up? Did you somehow superimpose this particular number on everybody? Just yesterday, Just yesterday when we was doing this show, this market value was $33 million. I think it was like 33.9, right? Now when you go and look at the market value, what happened? Did it go down? Oh. Let me know. Let me know for those who's majoring in math or arithmetic or some type of things that you do with algebra. Let me know calculus, statistics. Let me know if you majoring in any of those categories. Econ, if you like me, that's what I majored in. But that's a story of a different day. But let me know if you guys are understanding or aware of the market. Verse 6 says, facts law. Yeah, the market is the market. Let me pull up this thing right here before they begin to chomp their bits. Oh, this is a good old Pat Mahomes situation. And when the smoke unclears, right, and when it settles down, this is what we get. A 24-year-old guy, 3 years of experience. We look at this contract and we look at all of the fluff part of it. And we say, man, this boy finna get paid. He finna get that bread, that basket of bread. Matter of fact, he don't need no bag. They gonna have duffels and duffels and duffels bags to pay this brother. $63 million is only guaranteed. He have to survive him. He got to survive until at least 2022, I believe. If you look at the fine writings, you got to go all the way down, peel all the way down. Oh, $63 million is guaranteed signing bonus. That's more money than I can count. Look, if somebody somehow, some way, just give Law Nation $1 million, I would hush for right now. But nevertheless, $63 million is good. But we got to wait to 2022, and he really can't collect it until 2023. That's when his other signing / roster bonus will come into play, and that will be into his third lifespan of this particular contract. So you're looking at $100 million, but that's a story of a different day. Nevertheless, when we stroll up right here and I type in Dak Prescott, they always make sure you take care of your own before you start looking at somebody else's home, right? And this quarterback, he's 26 years old, so he's 2 years older than Pat Mahomes. That's a story of a different day, drafted in the 4th round. And of course, people would say all of this and all of that. But just yesterday, right, it was at 33. If you guys think I'm lying, just go back and rewatch the episode that I put out there yesterday. But when I click on this thing that says market value, let's scroll up so you guys can see.
Thanks for getting me through some tough times. Been dealing with some COVID-19 symptoms. # Cowboys Nation.
Francisco, fight through it, man. You're a battler. You're a warrior. You will defeat the COVID monster. You will. You will. And I declare and decree it. So just continue to fight. But here's what we have right here. 38.5. And you guys reach out to Francisco. Give him some love and adulations. Oh, do you see what I see? 38.5 million. Do you see what I see? All right, so here's the thing. The longer you wait, the longer you sit, the longer you just say to yourself, he's not worth it, Law. He's horrible. He's what we call trash. He's all of those things, right? Nevertheless, when you look at it, 38.5, and we saw that thing when I first started to do these type of episodes. I once upon a time saw that number at 22 million. And people was crying about that. They were saying Dak Prescott not even worth 15 million. Oh, he's not even worth 20. No way, we'll pay him 22 million. Let me know if I'm lying. That would be a bargain right about now, right? The longer you wait, the longer the price you will have to pay. That's just the reality of it. If a house sells in your particular neighborhood, and if every house was pretty much around 450,000, not even talking about million, right? You'll be dogged and grim if you allow somebody to sell their house at 320. Now, If your neighbor across the street sell his house at 520, yeah, you'd be like, dang, the listed price is 450, but you won't get mad at it because you know and you collectively understand that your particular house value just increased just by you just sitting there knowing nothing. But the environment where you at will benefit just because your neighbor sold at a higher price. So what I'm trying to say is math is not hard. It's simple, but yet complex. If you understand this principle, you can understand the principles of quarterback play. You can understand the principles of why this deal was so important for Dak Prescott camp, opposed to what everybody else was saying, that this guy got his bread, got his paper. Now you're understanding that this is how the market goes, baby. And this is not me making this stuff up. This is just how the market is. Let me know if I'm lying. So 38.5, it's creeping on up. It's going up daily. And the Dallas Cowboys, by them sitting on their hands, by them sitting back saying, okay, we don't need to pay this guy, we don't need to pay that guy, we just wait on it and we will see what will come. All you're doing is paying more for what you can get for a little bit less of money. All they had to do, and this is the same situation and scenario with Tank Law. It's the same situation, but let's listen to what they got to say.
How do you think this deal is going to affect Dak Prescott's negotiations?
Well, I think this contract that Patrick Mahomes did is going to affect a lot of quarterbacks because one of the issues that I saw with the contract is him committing to the Kansas City Chiefs for 10 to 12 years. That's just too long. And a guy like Patrick Mahomes does not have to do that, right? One of the things about NFL football players and the league that people need to understand is that we cannot think like basketball players. We cannot think like baseball players in contracts because our contracts are not fully guaranteed. And so Kirk Cousins kind of gave you the blueprint, right? He showed you how to do it, get a fully guaranteed contract, which Patrick Mahomes can demand. He's one of those guys that can demand a fully guaranteed contract. And so when you go to the table, you got to think about the other guys as well. You got to think about the guys behind you because you bring them along, right? And so when Patrick Mahomes doesn't get a fully guaranteed contract, Jerry Jones is going to use that as a comp, right? And so that's what people need to understand. When you're the best player and you get paid a lot of money, your contract now becomes a comp for other players, right? And so if you don't get guaranteed contract, then other players will not get a guaranteed contract because Jerry Jones is going to say, well, look, Dak Prescott, I like you, you're great, but you're not Patrick Mahomes. You're not doing what he did. So how can I feel comfortable to give you a fully guaranteed contract, right? And then the other thing is just committing for far too long, right? I think Patrick Mahomes could have done it 4 or 5 years at a time and taken his time because he can demand that. Because that's one of the reasons why we work so hard so we can build up leverage, right? Patrick Mahomes just gave away all his leverage because the one.
Well, let me speak on that, man. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. My dog over here, Matt, on the Facebook said, hey, I thought Dak Prescott got his money when he signed the franchise tag to play for $31 million or what have you, or whatever the other part of that 31. My thing is this, yes, you're right. Yeah, he did get his bag from that if he plays on that franchise tag. But what does that do for the team? Don't you know that his $31 million is more of a cap hit than what we just witnessing went from a Pat Mahomes? Don't you know that his cap hit is taking so much from this team? That franchise tag, there's no room for negotiation. It's automatically 31 mil straight off the books, right? So what we are saying is that you can utilize more of the money if you sign them to a longer term deal, whether it be the 4 or the 5. When you start to look at the raw number of things, and you will say to yourself, they could have been buried this many of days ago or many of moons ago or pretty much many of years ago if they were to go ahead and come to Dak Prescott within his second year and say, okay, yeah, we seeing the process and we seeing the progress. We know that we got you on a cheap deal now. We know that eventually that money is going to become knocking on the door. So what we're going to do now is introduce you to a contract before your time is due. And I got to give props and credit to Ezekiel Elliott camp, because he saw the actual writing on the wall. And Ezekiel Elliott said, let me go ahead and try to get my paper now. And he took a page from a Todd Gurley's administration. He said, let me get paid my coins early. Because now if Ezekiel Elliott were to wait, right? If he were to wait to after this season to say, okay, now I'm going to ask for some money, I think that the Dallas Cowboys would look at it and hold that situation out further than it can be. But Ezekiel Elliott camp saw and caught wind of it and said, okay, let's hold out now. Let's put the feet to the fire of Jerry Wayne, because we saw how he treated DeMarcus Lawrence. We saw how he treated Dez Bryant, one of the top, highest wide receivers the Cowboys ever seen as relates to production, as relates to touchdowns. There's no other wide receiver that got more touchdowns in the stretch of years like that. Dez Bryant. And if you think about it, if you close your eyes and imagine, Dez Bryant never had full healthy Tony Romo. Let that sink in. So yes, he was asking for his coins, and you saw how that all played out. So my thing is, we have to come to a situation whereas this organization needs to handle their funds a whole lot better. But nevertheless, let's listen to more what they have to say. Shout out to you,
One
Sheila.
thing that NFL players always have is we have the threat of leaving, right? The threat of going to another team, very similar to how Dak Prescott is doing right now. But when you have the best player in the NFL that's willing to sign these kinds of contracts, what that does is it sends a message to the owners. And I think Lee Steinberg, Patrick Mahomes' agent, I think he did his client a disservice, because I think he sold him on the big number, right? The $450 million number that came out. It's the mega blockbuster number. But at the end of the day, it's not fully guaranteed. So that's not true. It's not the richest contract in sports history, because the only thing that was guaranteed to Patrick Mahomes was $63 million, which does not make sense to me when you're a Patrick Mahomes. You have to get more money guaranteed than that. You got a $450 million contract and only $63 million guaranteed. Now, what that says is you've committed to the Kansas City Chiefs for 10 years, but they have not committed to you for 10 years.
I agree with some of what.
Good stuff, man, and let Shay Sharp jump in. My thing is, I hear that from Reggie Hart. Shout out to you. He says Dak was never a top 5. D-Law was a top 5 player. Shout out to you with that assessment there. Didn't D-Law get suspended for PEDs or what have you? And didn't he have a situation where he had like injuries? We paid D-Law basically off of 2 years, not 3. We paid D-Law after he did a good, pretty much, I'm not going to say good, a great job, right? He did a great job. And what year was it? Was it 20? We paid him off of 2017 and 2018 production, right? Because he didn't really play in 2016. Let me know if I'm lying. So we paid D-Law after 2 years of production, and they couple those numbers with Khalil Mack, and people were saying like, hey, D-Law is good and all, but he's no Khalil Mack. Let me know if D-Law is Khalil Mack. And I do know that they play 2 different types of positionings, and we saw the downfall of Khalil Mack last year. Appreciate you, Carlos, man. He says no echo, man. I really appreciate you all. All right, so $63 million. So where does the other $33.7 million go? This is from Floyd Day Jr. Yeah, I'll break that down in a few, but let's listen to more what they have to say.
What you said, the Kirk Cousins deal is different, because here's what Patrick Mahomes had working against him, where Kirk Cousins was totally free. Patrick Mahomes has 2 years plus the potential of 3 tags. So that's 5 years. So theoretically, the Chiefs don't have to do anything for the next 5 years. They can stand pat, and then what does Pat Mahomes does? He says, playing the tag, this year is 2.8, I think, 2.8. Next year is about 27 million. So theoretically, the Kansas City Chiefs really didn't have to do anything. Plus, you see what Dak's going through right now. Tag, and if they don't like they don't like the number that he's going to come back with next year, tag again. Then they can come with the tag, another franchise or transition tag. I think that's the thing that Pat Mahomes looked at, is like, hold on, wait a minute. They really have me under their clutches, Skip, for the next 5 years if they want that. So let me go ahead and take this right now. And I agree. They looked at the totality of it and they said, man, we have an opportunity to sign the biggest contract in sports history. We have an opportunity to have a football player. That's never happened before at any point in time where a football player was the highest paid player in any sport. We get that. But if you look at, Reggie, when you look at his numbers, that in 2023, that number becomes guaranteed if he does anything in 2021. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. How you get guaranteed money 2 years in advance? They don't do that anyway. They don't do that on any job. You get paid for when you work. His numbers are going to come guaranteed in 2021 for 2023, which is unheard of. Now, I do agree. I believe he should have gotten more fully guaranteed money. I always thought for him to tie himself into a contract for this length of time, it had to be in excess of $400 million. I was thinking something along $200 million, 150 to $200 million fully guaranteed, $300 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
So I do believe he did give up some, but he had to take this deal. I believe he had to take this deal because he had 5 years where the Chiefs didn't have to do anything.
That's a great situation there. My only thing is when I look at this contract, and let me see if I can pull it up again. The way they're gonna issue out the actual money per se for Pat Mahomes, and give me a few seconds here. Let me pull this up again, and let me move good old Dak out the way. Get out the way, Dak. Let me put Pat Mahomes in right here. Get out the way. Get. That would be saving the dog to be on the porch. Get, scoot. All right, so let's stroll all the way down to the nitty gritty. The writings, and you guys might have to squint your eyes or what have you to see this, but it's $63 million guaranteed signing bonus. So he get all of that money up front. He's like, dang, I'm finna go buy me a new Benz or something, or invest it. But this through 2021, and that's the roster bonus, of course, that's already accrued for 2022. Nevertheless, when you look at the fine line of 2023, this is salary and roster bonus plus workout bonus, fully guaranteed on the third league of the 2021. So that's what Shay Sharp was just talking about. But if he goes and play this particular year, it's not 2021, but if he goes and snap up everything, and I'm not trying to say, and I'm not trying to wish that this were to happen to anybody, but if a Ryan Shazier's type of injury were to occur on young money Pat Mahomes, all of that money you can kiss it goodbye. You can kiss it right on the keister. You can put your nose deep inside on it and say, it's gone. It's vanished. It's not here for to stay. Because in order for him to get this particular fully guaranteed /guaranteed money, we see that it says plus workout bonus or roster bonus. So what they did with this particular contract is they wrapped it up with bonuses and workout bonuses. And we know how the situation was. You can't hold out. So it's an intriguing, good contract for the Kansas City Chiefs, but it's also a big money grab for Pat Mahomes. So I'm looking at it like, at face value, Pat Mahomes better not get hurt. He better find a way to stay healthy, and he better find a way to make the roster, right? And I'm quite sure if I'm a betting man, he wouldn't have no issues making this roster. Can you guys see what I'm talking about, right? So that's just how it goes, and that's just how it is. And when we look at the young money Pat Mahomes contract within the confines of this particular system, let's listen to more what they have to say.
Can I push back on one thing real quick?
Go ahead.
Because he could have got $200 million fully guaranteed for 4 years, come back, hit him again for $300 million fully guaranteed. That's $500 million he just made fully guaranteed in 8 years, not in 10 years.
Well, I don't know if they. So in other words, you said take a 4-year extension, so that'll be 6 years total, and then do a couple of 150 to 200 million in fully guaranteed. I can concede that, but that's a long time. 10 years is a long time. And Skip and I was thinking that I don't see him playing this contract out. They're going back to the table. One side or the other will come back to the table in 2025, 2026. This thing is not going to 2031.
If, in fact, the other side does want to come to the table, and that's not always the case.
That's true.
So that's good stuff, man. And those are multi-millionaires having conversations, right? These are not people that are making $100,000 or $300,000. Shay Sharp, he's a multi-millionaire. And Reggie Bush, he's a multi-millionaire. So these guys, I do listen to what they have to say. And trust me, the name of the game is to be able to play in the game. And I think that the young Pat Mahomes, within the 10 years, I think that if, and I'm using this word carefully, if he can stay healthy and if they can find some pieces to go with him in his skill set, he will see another Super Bowl. Will he win it? I ain't going to put that on it because it could be against our mighty Dallas Cowboys. It would be a lovely treat, right? We would love to see that. Dallas Cowboys versus the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. That would be nice, right? It would be. Skip is to know. Yeah. Shout out to you, man, and really appreciate you guys for going back and forth with me on this contract. And trust me, all I'm saying is when we pull up the fact that just yesterday when I did the show, Dak Prescott, his collective contract as it relates to the market value rate was at $33 million and now it's at 38. Let me repeat, now it's at 38. Oh, and when people throw around the credentials of the young money Pat Mahomes, all I can say is yes, he do got him a Super Bowl ring, but let's not sully and forget about the fact that Chris Jones was on that front four. A lot of people thinking that, hey, Pat Mahomes did that. He was the one, the heart and soul and the reason why they won that Super Bowl against the 49ers. And then I go back and I recall the interception that happened in that game, right? Took some defenses to occur. The pressure that they got on young Jimmy Garoppolo, however you say that man's name, being not able to step up through his throw. Can you imagine if he didn't have that type of pressure? Garoppolo steps up calmly in the pocket and he connect with Texas native on Emmanuel Sanders. You see? And it would be a whole different story, right? We'll be saying like, yeah, Pat Mahomes, he's talented. He got the team there, but they didn't win it. Oh, everybody putting this super. See, I told people that 5 to 10 years from now, they will forget about the running back. They'll forget about how many yards he put up and how many touchdowns he put down. Everybody will only remember Pat Mahomes. People right now have struggling trying to remember the young running back name. Y'all keep that running back name in your minds. I'm not even going to put it down. Y'all put it down in the comment box because his name is forgotten. Everybody will only say that Pat Mahomes walked in on the 49ers and walked on water. He never had a struggle, right? That first 2 quarters was not difficult for him. Matter of fact, you could have blindfolded him and he would have won that game because he's Pat Mahomes. But people fail to realize it does not take one person to win this thing. It takes a multitude of people. But let's listen to more what they have to say.
Okay, I want to say that Reggie Bush just made a powerful, compelling point. The truth is that Kirk Cousins' first deal when he went to Minnesota was actually a little better deal than the Patrick Mahomes deal in that Kirk got $84 guaranteed million for 3 years, right? Yeah. $84 million guaranteed, every dollar guaranteed, but only for 3 years. And he's already renegotiated on a second round.
Right.
So the point is, that was sweet, but he had just played through 2 tags in Washington to get to that point, and he was free. I got you. I know Lee Steinberg very well. In fact, way back when, I helped him get into his business, and he was helping me in mine when we were both just kids out here in Los Angeles back in the 70s. But the point is, there are 2 agents who worked on this deal, but Lee was the out front agent. He is the best known of the agents, and I think the big winner here was Lee Steinberg because now he can tell clients down the line as he recruits them, hey, I got $500 million for Patrick Mahomes. It's not $500 million because by my calculations, only 31% of this deal is now guaranteed. There are these mechanisms, which I have never seen before.
I love the word mechanisms, you know, I guess things that you have to hit in order to get those money pockets. Some people call them in the financial world milestones, you know, there's milestones. And of course, you know, from a financial aspect, from a financial piece, you can forecast 10 years guaranteed or a signing of a contract faster than you can forecast a 5 or a 4, what have you. And Skip is putting you guys out there on some good stuff. And as much as I disagree with Skip, man, only 31% of a half of a billion, a little over half of $1 billion, is not that great of a situation. But it's a great situation, right? Who can complain about a contract that's given to you that's over half of $1 billion, right? Nobody. Look, I know some people right now, y'all, we can start negotiating a contract for $10,000. And I say, well, I got you a half of the $10,000. You be like, okay, yeah. Where can I sign? You know?
These guarantee mechanisms that can be kicked in by your performance, but that's not guaranteed at this moment.
Right. Yeah.
The $63 million up front, as Reggie pointed out, you just got a signing bonus of $63. That is guaranteed. Sure. Way to go! You can take that straight to your bank.
To the bank, yeah.
But after that, now let's get back to the Dak deal. Dak and his fairly new agent Todd France correctly sort of educated, guessed, and predicted that Patrick would get in the neighborhood of an annual $45 million. Mm-hmm. So they were asking for in the neighborhood of $45 million. Ooh. It's a lot of money for a quarterback who has not won an MVP the way Patrick did and has not won Super Bowl MVP the way Patrick did.
Yeah.
It's a lot of ask for a quarterback who last year went 8-8 and missed the Pro Bowl, and heading into last year,
he finna break it down with the F's, you know. And shout out to Skip Bayless for doing it right in front of Shay Sharp's face. But I got a story to tell you guys on another day, though, about, you know, the way they go back and forth and it's fake. But I love it. It's entertainment, baby. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained, basically?
NFL players did not even vote him into their top 100 players. Mm-hmm. And my man Shannon Sharp, sitting across from me down the stretch last year, gave Dak Prescott 7 Fs, as in failed, for his performance. And those games that started at New Orleans, and then there was Green Bay, and then there was at Jets, and then there was Buffalo, and then there was Chicago, and then there was at New England, and then there was at Philadelphia, and it was just nauseating for me because Dak did not play up to the levels I expected him to after he threw parties on the Giants and at Washington and Miami to start the year off. So the point is, it's hard to sell. Dak should make $45 million right now, so that's the impasse. And I do believe that they will not be able to get their heads together and compromise on a deal before the deadline, which is 8 days away. Yeah. I think...
Look, you know, we got 8 more days. It will be 7 days after today, right? I think that Dak Prescott will get something signed by that time frame. I don't think that he will play off of the $31 million. If he does, then we see this 38, right? It's 38 right now. It's his market value. Don't you guys know that by the end of next year, that number is going to be right at 42 to 44? That just saw how quick it jumped from 33 to 38. So I'm trying to shortchange it by saying 42. So that number's finna jump up high. And guess who's going to be that enabler? Oh, that's going to be the catalyst for that jump up. Watson. Not Randy Watson. Not Randy Watson. He plays over there in Eastside Harold. If he's in here, y'all know where he plays at for the Texans, right? And I can't let this thing go. Who little man shirt he got on right here, man? He done went and put on a medium. He done went and got somebody's baby shirt and put it on, trying to flex for the nation. You know what I'm saying? I would think that Reggie Bush is finna fly in the plane somewhere. Where do you get these things from? You supposed to be a multimillionaire, man. What's up with this, man? And what strange color? Why orange? You know, why would you all of a sudden wear orange? Somebody go help Reggie out. Y'all help Reggie out.
I think he's going to play for a tag this
I think I'm gonna get me a little bitty shirt on and put on, you know, so I can flex in front of you guys to be sitting up here. Thank you for tuning in to the Law Nation Film Session. You know, it's your medium.
$31.4 million.
Yeah. Which is not a bad deal for Dak Prescott because he can go back to the table and continue to renegotiate for more money. And so that's the thing that I keep coming back to with Mahomes is that the best player in the NFL cannot go back to the table to renegotiate for 10 years. Like, that just sounds crazy, because the one thing for good players, when you're in the top percentage in your position, you have to continue to set the market when your time is up. If you continue to set the market, then you're bringing along everybody else. You're pushing the envelope, right?
Yeah, so that was the end of that piece there. And then, of course, they talk about Dontari Poe demanding Jerry Wayne to speak out on some of the things that I said that in the past, that Jerry, he will speak when it's time. I think that Jerry Wayne will speak on the Black Lives Matters, the national anthem, when it is time. The craziest thing of it all, I have to say this, Poe and McCoy, they have yet to play a snap for the Dallas Cowboys. They don't really know Jerry that well, if I can say it in those parameters. So I thinking that, when time permits, I think that Jerry will speak. And it will be a situation whereas once they have the media days and when the world open back up, I think that Jerry will speak on it. I don't think that Jerry, like Shay Sharp said in this particular video, that he's not a good liar or what have you. I think Jerry always cut it straight up. He's going to tell you the truth. And that's just where it goes. Love Life says, Law, you wrong, flex it. Shout out to you, man. Yes, Jerry is an old white guy. I bet. I don't know if he hates Black Lives Matter, Charles, but I just don't think that Jerry will be wise to speak out, right now, because he may slip up and say the wrong thing. But let me get into this, man. Perswa, really appreciate you. Starboy, C-Pain, really appreciate you. Chris says Damian Williams should have been the Super Bowl MVP. Do anybody disagree with Damian? Do anyone disagree with him? Let me know. That's a kid's headphone. It's from Brian Bradford. Yeah. Y'all killing my dog Reggie. Low key, I would have loved Reggie Bush to play for the Dallas Cowboys. When we had the chance and opportunity, we didn't pull the trigger. I think that Reggie Bush would have been better in this position than what we saw from a Lance Dunbar. I think that we was like at the time when he was free, we was like, we got Lance Dunbar. I was like, nah, Lance Dunbar is not that guy. Let's pay a little paper to give Tony Romo an explosive guy that you can pair up with the other running back at the time. And a lot of people are like, nah. Man, Watson needs an offensive line bad. This is from my dog, Mr. Wright. I agree. But let's listen to what they have to say. And I already prefaced it. So here we go.
So, Shannon, do you like him saying this?
Okay, what I tell you, Skip, I didn't second guess this. I like to use Skip Bayless. I first guessed this. I said, Skip, this is going to be a problem because he was so outspoken the other way. You will toe the line. You will have the helmet in your left arm and your right hand over your heart. And if you don't do that, you won't play for the Cowboys. So he was so outspoken one way, and he's gone radio silent the other way. I was like, well, wait a minute.
I mean, literally radio
silent.
As in, I have
y'all
a
leave,
radio show, but I'm
y'all
not
leave
doing
Uncle
it.
Jerry
No.
off.
Now, all of a sudden, Jerry don't have an opinion. He has an opinion on everything. Because here's the thing, Skip. You can't say you support one thing and then funnel money, millions of dollars to another thing that goes directly to say what you're supporting. You can't do that. And see, Jerry's not a good liar.
Sure.
See, he can't come out here and say he do something.
I agree with that.
Because he threw him, Skip.
Yep.
Now, Gerald McCoy said it. Now, Dontari Poe has said it. And there are a lot of other guys. Even Dez Bryant. Skip, remember they was going to have this march? And Dez said it'd be good if Jared would have show up.
He threw in... Did he throw in
Jason Witten also?
And did he throw Steven in there?
Yeah, I think it'd be good if Steven and Jared. Jason Witten.
Yep.
If they were to show up, Skip, there's gonna be a problem. There's gonna be a problem. Jerry's gonna have to answer this one way or another.
Don't be using my words one way or another. Shay Sharp, everybody knows that Jerry Wayne will speak on it. Can you guys imagine? Just close your eyes and imagine. Jerry do not dodge any question that's given to him. Have you ever heard him dodging a question that was given to him? Let me know. Post it down below. Let me know when, right? Jerry would, like, when they have their first press conference, it's either going to be Clarence or it's going to be one of the brothers. What's the other guy name? Dog, his name at the tip of my tongue. But it's going to be one of the brothers is going to reach out and say, hey, Jerry, what are your thoughts on this? And Jerry going to be like, I'm going to be trite, you know, and he's going to go through his wonderful soliloquy. I just think that right now, due to the climate that we are in, there's no press conference. If there was, or Mike Fisher, he can get out there and talk to him. Anybody that asks him those questions, I think that either he's going to give you an immediate response, or he's going to tell you a storyline about how he did this and how he did that. Let me know if I'm lying, Cowboy Nation. Johnny, he says Jarwin as well. Yeah, Jarwin is going to be nice. I think Jerry might back off the situation. Pretty serious stuff. This is from John Scott. Yeah, I agree, but as soon as they ask him the question, he's not going to dodge it. I just don't think that he will. And if he does, then I'll be the first one to do another one of these talk track videos, and we can give you guys my opinion of the nature of how he moonwalked like Michael Jackson from that. But I've seen Jerry Wayne so many times go through these hard interviews and even make the justification of why he picked up what's the guy who threw the girl on the bed of guns? What was this guy name? God dog it. This name at the tip of my tongue. But when I saw them coming at him, you know, Jerry, he stood and held his ground, you know, and he will do it. But for a lot of people who fail to realize, Jerry do a lot of things for the community. Jerry did a lot of things for even the San Diego Superchargers coach, and it never made the headline news. Just Google the San Diego Superchargers head coach and Jerry Jones and what he did for him. But you don't hear Jerry walking around saying, hey, this is what I've done. And let me know the nationality of the San Diego Chargers coach. You know, let me know and help me out. You know, can you post a picture somewhere on my Facebook page of the San Diego Chargers coach? And Greg Hardy, yes, Mike Williams, really appreciate you, man. Hardy had mental issues. Yes. Remember that game? He slapped the clipboard out of the coach's head, and they immediately went and found Jason Garrett and said, hey, what about this? What about that? And then we work on it. They said, forget this, 2 tears in a bucket. Let's go find Uncle Jerry Wayne. And Jerry gave his thoughts about it. So we will see. Is Dak name still a free agent? Dak? Harold Jones? Nah, he's not a free agent at all. Dak is under that franchise tag, but we would like to see what he would have got out of that open market if they didn't really believe in him, you know, let him test the open market. All right, so the phone lines for your mind is open 515-604-9318. The pin to get in is 709-148. That's the pin to get in. Let me see if I can post it somewhere. Give me a few seconds here if you want to call in, and that way I will get your number this time, right? Because there's a queue that you can be waiting in, and I'll get to your thoughts on this particular show. But it is what it is at this time, Cowboy Nation. I do understand that a lot of people feel a certain way about contract talk and about, you know, Dak Prescott. Should he be on his team? Should he not be on his team? And things like that. But we have to look at it like this. Dak Prescott is our quarterback. The Kansas City Chiefs did a wonderful job with their quarterback, and they believed in their particular quarterback. We will have to formulate our thoughts and understand that Dak Prescott is a man of his own, and the Cowboys will have to figure out a way to work that thing out. All right, so what we have here, let me just pull this thing around here. Bam, there we go. Give me a few seconds here. Yeah. And bam. We don't need to see Pat right now. Let's look at some old Dallas Cowboys. All right, so the first caller we have online, let me pull this person up. Really appreciate them. You're live on the Nation. Speak your mind.
Hello?
Yes, you're live. What's good? Talk to me.
What's up, Law? It's KMT.
KMT, what you feeling, man? How you feel about this team? How you feel about the direction we're going and everything else?
I'd just like to say, first of all, that this Patrick Mahomes deal really has absolutely nothing to do with Dak and what he's going to get, because when you look at the Mahomes deal, it's an extension. Mm-hmm. And when you look at the extension, Dak wants four years on his contract. Mm-hmm. Mahomes is going to be averaging $26 million over the next 4 years under this new extension and his previous contract that he had as a rookie. So this really has nothing to do with Dak, because he doesn't even get paid $40 million as an average salary until he's 29 and he's in his 5th year of his contract. Everything else is an average of $26 million over the next 4 years.
Wow.
The only person I think that could possibly reset the market for Dak would be Watson, because you also compare Watson and Dak stats-wise, what they have done in the playoffs and all that stuff, and they're fairly similar. But I don't see how this Mahomes deal has anything to do with Dak. Jeff Kavanaugh even said it. I saw him this morning when he posted his video on YouTube of his recap of this whole thing, and he said the exact same thing.
Yes, indeed. And I haven't even heard Jeff Kavanaugh. I'm going to have to watch his YouTube video and see what he had to say. So if you repeating what he's echoing out there to the world, then yes. Did you say 27 million?
Average over the next 4 seasons, 2020 to 2023, would be $26 million.
Wow. Good deal
as
for
a
the
yearly
Kansas City.
Salary.
Man, that's a good deal for the Kansas City, man. Wow. Jeez. And we're bickering and we're going back and forth over Dak Prescott when we could have had something similar if we were to just go ahead and pay the man earlier. Can you imagine, just imagine if because they didn't have to, Kansas City Chiefs could have just waited and let this year go out and then pay Pat Mahomes next year, right?
Yep. It could have. I think next season, I don't know if that's part of the deal, the new deal, or if it's part of something else. Mm-hmm. But all I know is that's $24 million, or close to $25 million is what he'd be getting paid.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy, man. What else you have for the show, man? What else you have pumping out this good information?
That was the biggest thing. And then I also think that I really don't want to talk about it, but I kind of have to, is these people, like you were watching Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. Like, I don't know what Skip Bayless is talking about when he says that Dak is asking for $45 million. I don't know where he saw that, because that's nowhere in the media.
Right, not even
he's saying
40.
How him and his new agent are going around asking for $45 million. I didn't see that anywhere. I don't see any of the people that cover the Dallas Cowboys saying that at all either.
No, I don't see him asking for 45 nor 40. I'm looking at it like, 37 may be the highest. If you think about it, $140 million contract will be, $35 million a year, what have you, stretched out over 4. And I'm thinking that yesterday, before all of this Pat Mahomes stuff broke free, that I'm thinking that maybe north of $110 million guaranteed will be something that Dak Prescott is seeking. And I think that the Cowboys didn't want to pay him that, So it's back to the drawing boards, and we will see what will happen in 8 more days from here.
Yeah, I don't think that we know exactly what's going on. I know we knew that it was the difference between 5 and 4 years, and now they're on the same page of 4 years, most likely $35 million, and it's probably just the guaranteed money that they're probably settling on right now. I think that what you said, around $110 million, getting a little bit more than what Goff is getting and what Wentz is getting, would be perfect for him, because I'm sure we all believe that he's better than Goff easily, and then Wentz, we think he's better than Wentz on top of the fact that he's actually staying healthy.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, health is a major weapon, man. But I really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for calling in. Call back in at any time, KMT. Really appreciate you.
Yep, no problem. I'll see you later.
Peace. All right, so next we have my dog, man. He's been following this channel for a long time. I love his insight of the game and everything. Let's bring him on to speak. My dog, my brother from another mother, man. What's good, brother?
What's going on, though?
Nothing to it, man. When I see that 843, I'm sitting there like, yeah, my dog. What's good, though, man?
Yeah, you know what time it is, man.
I know you finna cut it straight down the middle. You're not going to be biased with it. You gave me hard fits, man, many of years with it. But you fair and honest, man. And I love that approach to it. And especially how you bring out the fact that, hey, let's not forget about Ezekiel Elliott throughout this time frame. And I love your insight on all this. But what's your thoughts for the day, man?
Man, KMT took everything I was about to tell you, man, because I sent you the Facebook video earlier on Facebook about the Jeff Kavanaugh video. But I think Jerry Jones going to try to use this Pat Mahomes thing to his advantage with his 10-year deal thing, man. Yeah. I just got a feeling he's going to try to push for the 5 years.
Yeah, he squeezed that 4-year thought out the tracks, and he say, well, hey, we got this 5-year offer. We can slice it right in half of what Pat Mahomes got, and we can just give you a little bit over as it relates to that guarantee money. And he's going to leverage that. And Jerry's a salesman. He's a businessman. So
yes,
yeah, and I think
and
that's
be real with you, man. This deal came out of left field because nobody saw this kind of deal coming from anybody, not especially Patrick Mahomes. So right now, I think everybody is scrambling, trying to figure out what they're going to do next.
Yeah, and this is the craziest thing of it all. They said a person that worked at a liquor store, he was the one that broke the story. He the one that leaked the story.
Wow.
Pat Mahomes putting out, getting that type of love. And trust me, it's a beautiful situation for Pat Mahomes, and it's a beautiful situation for the Kansas City Chiefs. But when we look at when we start peeling back everything, we say, man, it's really, as far as the fan view, he really not getting paid like that, though.
Not at all. Not at all. But there's a difference. Kansas City didn't have no money, and they got players coming up that got to get paid. So Patrick Mahomes, I'm not saying he had to take that deal, but I'm glad he did, so he keep the weapons around him. But our situation is a little different. We got money to pay our players, and we got money to play Dak. It just depends what we want to do.
Yeah, that is the well, I guess that's the $40 million question, or the $37 or the $35 million questioning, or the $140 million questioning. What will we do, by heading into the future? The craziest thing that I read earlier today is that Travis Kelce, that tight end over there, he's their oldest player, and he's 30.
Oh, wow.
So
they good for the long haul, man.
Yes, indeed, man. What else you have for the show, fam?
But that's what I got, man. But everybody, Law Nation, not like everybody else. He's not going to pick one side. He look at everybody's side. He's a real one out here, man. So salute.
Appreciate you, fam, so much, man. Thank you.
All right, boy.
Good call from my dog, man. Like I said, it's the new number, 515-604-9318. And then the pin to get in is 709-148. That's the number to get on in here. And to talk to me and to put your thoughts, to put your mind out here on the line about what you feel about the Dak Prescott situation, what you feel about Pat Mahomes. And if you want to, look, I'm always going to say this. We always going to compare Dak Prescott to everybody, right? He doesn't get the free lane. He's always going to be compared. At first, it was just Dak Prescott compared to Tony Romo, right? Remember that was the good days. Dak Prescott, Tony Romo. And then we fast forward this thing and we compared Dak Prescott to Jared Goff, right? And then they moved on from there and they compared him to Carson Wentz. And that's the story of a different day. And now, it's Pat Mahomes and now it's Watson. And who else we going to compare him to? And people fail to realize, for those who watched football in the earlier days, I'm going to let 9-10 get in here in a few. 9-10, just hold your place. When you compare these things to the earlier days, remember Jim Kelly compared to Troy Aikman? Jim Kelly can throw the hell out of that ball. All right, 9-10, you win. Yes, indeed. Let me put your name on this thing, man. Let me save it to this caller ID. But what's good though, fam?
What's going on, brother?
Talk to me.
This news is the best thing we can have.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry will try to outdo anything, so I think he don't give him the 5. And then when he double up after 5 years, that salary cap will be ridiculous. And then we don't look back at this Patrick Mahomes deal like, yo, you got fleeced, Patrick. Like, why is he signing Tyron Smith 10-year deals in 2020? Like,
at the quarterback
Jerry
position.
got Troy Aikman on the 10-year deal back in the 90s.
Oh, he did?
I think he sold himself real short, man. I think he sold himself real short, but it just give Jerry a baseline, and that, like, will put him in a price range where he can be comfortable. But the big thing with that, keeping that 4 or 5 so he can re-up again. Because that salary cap, if Kansas City Chiefs is throwing out these numbers in 2020 during the pandemic, just imagine how it's going to be in 2025 and beyond. I see like this situation being. Remember when Romo got that first $100 million deal? Then everybody followed. Then you was looking like, dang, Romo is on the cheap.
Yeah, it was a
Romo
signed
years ago.
6-year
David
deal.
Carr signed for what? 125 mil.
It was
And
25
now
mil.
it's like, wow.
Yeah.
You in the lower bracket. You in minimum wage right now. You remember Cam after the Super Bowl? Him and Russell Wilson. They signed $100 million. Now they're like, wow.
No, dog.
5-6 years.
Nah, Dom. You know what? We did it all wrong. We forgot the original contract that really had everybody like, what? And it was a brother that played for the Atlanta Falcons. You remember that guy?
Matt Ryan. Oh.
No.
Michael Vick.
Ooh, you
7
remember that
years,
contract?
144. I'm in Newport News. 70 years, 144. That would ballooned it all.
Right. That was
that would ballooned it all.
That would really started. We was like, man, but he was the cheat code for Madden, when you played back in the day.
Yeah, he was
we
the
like,
cheat code.
Yeah, he like, no,
and he was Nike. So it was a lot of factors with that. And nobody wasn't buying the Atlanta jerseys. He had the number 1 jump insert jersey in America, probably in the world football player wise.
Yeah.
But like that, he just don't have to hold that.
Yeah.
If that player is smart, just do 4 or 5, and you gonna re-up. Jerry is gonna try to outdo anybody. So Jerry gonna be like, I'm gonna show Kansas City Chiefs, my rival. Oh well, that got more guaranteed than your boy. True. Y'all paying the pennies right now.
Yeah.
Y'all paying the pennies. Whoever was advising Patrick Mahomes, I think they did a poor job. 10 years?
Yeah, that's
10
a
years.
lot of money. Nah, Dime. What was the guaranteed money for Khalil Mack opposed to what D-Law got? Was it in the same wheelhouse almost?
Well,
I know you probably know.
You get like 86. How much D-Law got?
I don't know, but he got that paper though. He was sitting there like, yeah.
You got that paper. I think it was like 80 something.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
In the 80-70 range.
Yeah, I know somebody gonna put it down.
You think about Von Miller.
Oh,
sure, he on the cheat now.
Yeah, paper money.
It's like it's always about your turn, but I'm thinking about Patrick. Like, oh, you went to an AFC Championship. You won the Super Bowl. Like, I would have played the Kirk Cousins style or keep on doing short deals.
Yeah,
I mean, you're a quarterback. You don't play 10+ years.
Yeah, he gonna play that many
for
years.
them to have that control over you.
Yeah,
and knowing how football is, like the sustainability of success.
But Nandam, I'm gonna put this on your mind, Nandam. And I know I'm gonna get some hate from Heat, and I love the Heat, man. I live in it,
Yeah, we love it, man.
Pat Mahomes would not won a Super Bowl if Chris Jones wasn't on that team.
And D4, not D4, Frank Clark too.
Yeah. So
and Honey Badger.
And the Honey
We
Badger.
We saw the second half.
We saw it. People
forget. Okay, if you take the last 8 minutes of the game, people forget he was looking shaky. The San Francisco defense was getting pressure. Everything wasn't going as smooth as possible. But he had that running back, man.
He had the running back.
He had that running back running that thing, and Chris Jones, Frank Clark, Tyrann Mathieu, and our boy, the one used to play for us. That defense held it down for them. Spagnuolo won that thing.
Yeah. And another
like
thing,
you said, if Chris Jones did not get no pressure on Jimmy Garoppolo, that's touchdown. And then it's curtains.
And then we have to listen about these 49ers fans, because people fail to realize it took everything in my heart, to start to root for the Kansas City Chiefs, because I can't stand to root for any other team, because I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. But it took me to say, man, come on, Kansas City Chiefs. And when I started rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs, I said, maybe it's me. Whoever I root for, maybe they start to lose, because the 49ers, they were looking like they were about to win that thing, when it first started off. I said, this Pat Mahomes look, who is this, throwing the ball at the feet, not setting up through his throws, overshooting the wide receivers or what have you. And we saw that it took the running game to take over, and it took some of the defense to release some of the pressure. And I was like, man, this brother better pull through, because I'm not finna live through this again. The 49ers getting 6 Super Bowls and this sort of thing. So
we can't have that. but they gave a blueprint. You get Denver showed it too when they broke his kneecap. You got to get that pressure, man. Like, he doesn't have, that super duper offensive line. I mean, he got some key spots, but I feel like they scheme, tricks everybody. So it'd be a lot of blown coverages, and then boom. And they got speed, and speed kills. But, if I'm Dak, and I'm thinking, okay, that's the measuring stick. I'm going to have to beat this guy.
Yeah.
Take that 4 or 5 year deal so Jerry can tighten up your defense. Tighten up your defense.
Let's look at it from this. And we can remove the quarterbacks, right? Quarterback is the end all be all to everybody's team. But if we look at it from person to personnel, Amari Cooper versus the Tyreek Hill or Mecole Hardman, you know what I'm saying? If we look at their personnel and we look at ours, we right up there. We right up
skill
there.
Positions, we head up. You got Kelsey over Jarwin, but that's it. We got the better running back.
Yeah.
I mean, Tyreek Hill, he speed kills.
Oh my goodness.
Amari is that dude.
Yeah.
Who is that? Hardwin? I'd give Gallup any day.
Yeah.
And then Robinson? Come on, I got CD Lamb. So skill to skill positions, and I would still take our offensive line over their offensive line. It's just like that. Them little busted coverages, Pat Mahomes takes advantage of those.
Oh, yeah, and there's no lie. He will catch you sleeping, and he will take advantage of those.
He will catch you slipping, and Dak had plenty of opportunities last year with busted coverages. But like you said, Kellen Moore is going to get in that lab with him. Mike McCarthy going to get in that lab with him. And so I feel like we're going to have a lot of misdirection. We're going to have a lot of crossing routes. There's going to be a lot of stuff. You don't know where people going, and it's going to get the defensive loss.
Yeah.
But we need just a secondary player away there.
Yes, indeed.
Because the X factor for the Chiefs was the Honey Badger. And I know everybody wants Jamal Adams and all that, but we seeing this out of cap situation. Dak don't get this tag, and next year y'all gotta. If he ball out, man, we gotta pay that man.
It's already the market is already at 38 for him. But I'm gonna let somebody else call in 9-dime for your mind, man. What else you got though, man? What else you got? One more thing, man. What else you got for us?
All I gotta say, watch out. Watch out for our front four, front eight, possibly. This rotational. Y'all check out Vice Lombardi. Like, our defensive line is going to be the key to everything. That's how the 49ers got there. That's how the Chiefs got there. And if you get pressure on that quarterback, you hit that arm, that's more opportunities for interceptions and fumbles.
No doubt, fam. Good stuff.
9 down for your mind. You're rocking with the best of our nation. Cowboys, stay up.
That's a good call, man, from the 9 dime, man. All right, 713, you're next on the deck. My thing is right here, Cowboy Nation, before I let 713 enter the room, here's the thing, though, Cowboy Nation. I'm not discounting Pat Mahomes. It's impossible to do that, when we see how he can throw that rock. I mean, he can sit down in Indian style and throw the ball 80 yards with effortlessly, however you say that word. I'm not an English major in, on the other side of the table as it relates to numbers, but effortless. He can throw that ball down the field in Indian style, and it can go all the way accurately, not just with power, because we've seen what's that guy's name is Jamarcus, I believe, played for the Raiders, had a strong arm. Dante Culpepper had a strong arm, for crying out loud. Nevertheless, when you look at Pat Mahomes, he have a strong wrist, arm, all of that stuff. He can put that thing there, So I'm not discounting what the brother can do. And it's only a few quarterbacks that got that type of talent. And I guess when you have that type of talent, you got to pay the man. And that's just the reality of it. But we're not discounting that. But what we're saying is that it takes a team to win it. All right, so we have 713. You in here, man. What's good?
Hey, man. You know who it is. Eastside.
Let me save your name in here, Eastside, man. And we're going to talk about your quarterback and as well as my quarterback and the other quarterback that messed it up for everybody, man. Talk to me, man.
Before we go into quarterbacks, I just want to give props to I'm a new fan of Gerald McCoy and Poe. Even though they washed up as players, as people, hey, man, I'm a new fan of those guys. Those guys are they the real deal, man. They speak their minds. They speak the truth. Hey, man, I can't do nothing but salute them guys.
Yeah.
And they don't care who you are. Jerry Jones, hey, man, I gotta call you to the square. Hey, man, you gotta say the right thing. And guys, hey, man, we don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, but you gotta speak that real, man. And they're not too good at players no more, but hey, man.
Yeah, man. Look, Eastside, they came out, they spoke their minds, and this is the thing. They never been in the locker room with the Cowboys players, and they never got a chance to hear Jerry Wayne Jones speak in front of the Cowboys. So, speaking from the outside in, yes, of course, from their perspectives, their family members saying like, "Hey, you just joined this team." And the owner, the billionaire owner, he ain't talking. When he gonna talk about this situation that's going on? And they have no experience with Jerry, So of course, when they do interviews with people, they're gonna say, "Yeah, we need to hear him talk. We need to hear what he got to say." And trust me, as a man, as a brother, I would say that is a noble thing for them to do. But at the end of the day, Jerry will speak. And that's one thing that I know for over 20 years of experience, or really 30 years of experience watching the Cowboys. I know that Jerry Jones will eventually speak.
Yeah.
But talk to me about your quarterback, man, and talk to me about Dak Prescott as well. Talk to me, man.
Oh, man, Dak. I mean, 8 more days, he's on. Ain't nothing happening but tax season. That's the only thing happening 8 more days for Dak. He got his franchise tag, and my guy, hey, man, he's biding his time. He's just he's the winner. He's the sweepstakes winner. From what I'm hearing, he won a short-term deal. If he won 3 years. If Deshaun Watson won every 3 months, hey, man, he can get every 3 months. That's what it is. That's when you had a franchise guy, the real guy. A real guy, a Mahomes, a Watson, a Jackson. Oh, yeah. Pretty much get what you want.
Now, you do know that Dak Prescott, and Mahomes, Yeah, they are one other situation within itself. But your quarterback, we will see what he can do without DeAndre Hopkins. You know, I can't wait to see this season unfold for him, and hopefully he have a great time. But I can't wait to see what he gonna do without his weapons around him.
But what has he been doing all his football career from college to NFL? Man, he's pretty much overcome. Pretty much overcome the obstacles. You know, he makes a bad team great, and that only great players can do that, man.
We'll find out. We will find out, man.
What's the difference in the team besides Hopkins not being there? Not really much.
Okay. We shall soon see. You know, what else you have for the show, Eastside?
All right, man. I'm just silent in. KMT, man. You sound like you're 13 years old, man. Go study your books and get ready for homeschools. No school, no more getting bullied in high school.
Leave my dog alone.
Hey,
you come in there and talk to my dog, man. All right, bro. Salute.
All right. Texans, Rockets, Astros. All right.
Oh man, I don't think Eastside believed that himself, man. But shout out to the Houston, and also shout out to the Houston area, man. Let's see what they can do down the line this year, man. The phone lines are still open, 515-604-9318. I have about, and the pin to get in is 709-148. Let me see how long I got. What time we got? All right, so I got a few more minutes here, man. So we was talking about Pat Mahomes. We were talking about the comparison of Pat Mahomes to Dak Prescott. They will forever be compared, as well as Dak Prescott will forever be compared to any quarterback. It started off to Tony Romo. Then it went over to Brandon Whedon. You know, then people started comparing him to Matt Castle, right? Remember that? And then, oh, no. I'm lying. It was Blake Bortles. Remember that time frame? Then everybody was saying, like, man, Dak Prescott is nothing more than a Blake Bortles, you know. And then that myth was, I guess, erupted and displayed, and then everybody saw that, hey, he's no Blake Bortles. He's better than Blake Bortles. You remember that? And then it went from there to, hey, he was in the companies of Tom Brady, then Pat Mahomes, and then, you know, the list goes on and on and on about Dak Prescott. Why can't Dak Prescott just be Dak Prescott? Let me know why. You know, it is what it is. Hector, man, really appreciate you so much for tuning in to the nation. Really appreciate you. Call in if you want. 515-604-9318. The pin is 709-148. That's the pin to get in. Studwood, really appreciate you. He said Cowboys, Rocket, Astros is how I roll. Okay. Unproven, face it. Dak faithfuls would never blame Dak for playing bad. It's always somebody else's fault. I don't think that's the situation or the scenario. My thing is unproven. When you look at Dak Prescott collective body of work and you say to yourself, could he done better in these type of games? Yes. And then you guys can go and type in my critical analysis of Dak Prescott, and you will see videos of me, good old Law Nation, pointing out where he need to improve on, step up through his throws, go through his progressions a whole lot better. He need to improve on that. The fade ball, I think that Dak Prescott really need to improve on that. What else I said? Of course, when we look at it and say to the weapons that's around Dak Prescott, yes, he need to pass the ball in front of the receivers instead of behind them. But when we look at majority of those games, we can say that, man, that Jets game, yeah, you can say it was Dak Prescott's fault. But we can't dismiss the fact that he have not had the left tackle nor the right tackle in that game. We cannot dismiss the fact that the defense played poorly. We cannot dismiss the fact that, yes, the Jets won or what have you, but if the NFL was not in the involvement of calling a pass interference on Cedric Wilson in that particular game, maybe the outcome would have been different because there was a touchdown that was wiped away that nobody would never talk about. And when I start talking about the fact that the Patriots game, everybody will say, yes, that's the game that Dak Prescott lost. But when I bring up the fact that 2 tripping calls that were never called in the history of the sports of the game, all of a sudden I'm now an apologist for Dak Prescott when I pull out the facts. Oh, the fumble that occurred that didn't occur, but occurred for the Saints or what have you, against Ezekiel Elliott, elbow being imprinted into the ground, showing that he's down, but all of a sudden that fumble counts, right? So I'm trying to figure out, when we start bringing out the facts of the reason why we lost, why is that the problem? Now, if Dak Prescott had a game where he had like 3 interceptions, 4 forced fumbles or 4 fumbles, what have you, and I would say, yeah, man, that dog, he lost that game. Now, is Dak Prescott flawless in a sense? No, he got his warts. But we got to look at it from the full picture. And that's what I like to bring to the table. Because I can't just sit here and allow the media to just say one side of it. That remember this stat that everybody said and they ran off with it? I think the person who coined that stat or coined that name was, what's his name? Not Chris Collinsworth. He have this show, Cowherd. What's his first name? Cowherd. He came out and said Dak Prescott dink and dunk. He's a dink and dunk Dak, And when I start to pull up those facts that he don't dink and dunk, and then that's when people say, nah, that name stayed with him. It stuck with him, dink and dunk Dak. And then when I start bringing out facts and said, okay, technically Tom Brady dinks and dunks more. Technically, through the course of the career, Russell Wilson dinks and dunks more. Oh, technically, when we start pulling out the fact checks, Romo dinks and dunks more, throughout the confines of their first 4 years or what have you. But somehow, I just get labeled as a Dak apologist. But they don't listen to the fact when I said, hey, he got to manage the game better. He got to start using those Mississippi legs better, running with the rock. Oh, he got to throw a better fade pass. Kay Francis says Dak is better than Watson. And that's the situation where we go back and forth, all right? Watson, if Dak better than this, Dak better than that. I will say that we had for 10 years a coach named Jason Garrett. And I'm not trying to use Jason Garrett as the great person to throw under the bridge. Jason Garrett, everybody goes back to Jason Garrett. Here's the thing. Not everybody's lying, right? We've seen people with the likings of Patrick Creighton, Terrell Owens, even DeMarcus Ware, not Lawrence, DeMarcus Ware, the running back, DeMarco Murray, Dez Bryant. All these people saying ill wills of Jason Garrett. And all of a sudden they're lying and Jason Garrett is not. And we saw with our natural eyes what Jason Garrett did for Tony Romo. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And we did an episode a couple of days ago, me, Bad Dog Sports, and of course we had Lord Bronson, as well as who else? My dog Louis T. And we was talking about the rivalry talk. And one of the, I think Bad Dog said, hey, Jason Garrett helped develop Tony Romo. I wanted to stop him then. But the reality of it, everybody who watched football, we know that Jason Garrett had nothing to do with Tony Romo development and growth. Nothing to do with that. Nothing. Let me read some more of your comments and see what you guys are talking about. Eagles fans better worry about their own quarterback issue. Winless wheelchair Wentz is obvious on his way out. This is from Russell, man. The thing is with Carson, and here's my, if people want some objectivity talk, I can give you this. I think that he goes through his progressions pretty well. I think that Carson is a good guy as relates to playing when everything is at the feet of him. Like when it's time for him, when the pressure is crumbling, he would wiggle his way out. He would squeeze out and get to the edge and throw the ball. Even if he had to close his eyes to do that, he would get the ball to his tight end, which will always be a quarterback best friend, the tight end. But within the same breath, Carson is a guy that will fold. He would get injured. He would try to do too much, and he will fumble the ball. Play basketball with the football. I think that there's a stat out there that Carson Wentz got the most fumbles lost and also the most fumbles since 2016. He's leading in that pack. I don't know if he got tiny hands, he can't hold on to the ball, or I don't know if he can't handle heat. And there's some people that's like that. They get small, they crumble when the pressure is on them. And every time I get Eagles fans to call in or talk to me, they say Carson Wentz is better. Carson Wentz is this and that. Yes, he's a good thrower of the ball. It's accurate enough. Yes, he dinks and dunks more than Dak Prescott. The average time that the ball travels through the air is very limited. I digress. My thing is with Carson Wentz is that he will crumble when the pressure and the lights of the world is on him. That's just the reality of it. And every historical data will show that. But he's the reason why they had the MVP-like season. He's the first quarterback in the history of NFL that people will give him attributes and contributes to say, hey, he was almost close to getting the MVP. He didn't get it. But if you was to remove the health factor, that's like me saying that Sean Lee is the greatest linebacker of all time. If you remove health, you can't. Those two statements does not equate to one, right? So that's what I'm saying with Carson Wentz. The Eagles got rid of the only quarterback that ever win them a Super Bowl. 42 fumbles, 18 lost. Yes, you're right. Law, your headline says Dak will always be compared to Mahomes by others. Yeah. Well, two others or whatever. You guys get what I'm saying. Shout out to you, though, them birds, though. 48 lost fumbles, Jim Law. Y'all going in on it. Jason is one of those who picked Dak. Jerry is one of those who settled on Dak. He want everyone else but Dak. This is from Harold Jones. We will see. We will see. And here's the outline for all of that, right? Here's the outline. If I'm a salesman and if I want to really maximize my possibilities to sell something, I would have put what I really wanted out there to sell it. Dak Prescott, if Jerry Wayne does not have some type of hope for Dak Prescott, then he would allow Dak Prescott to test the market. Let me know if I'm lying. I think that Dak Prescott on the market would have at least rendered you a first and a third, maybe a first and two seconds or something like that on the open market. I recall the Colts before they made the deal with Rivers saying that, hey, we would give him $35 million at that time before all of the other players got signed or what have you, before everything else happened. So I'm thinking that Jerry Jones, he covered Dak Prescott in a sense. And he may have some type of situation going as this has just all been stretched out to the media as relates to what they always do. But it is what it is. Bears probably still going to suck with Foles, though. we shall soon see. And for all of the Eagles fans, shout out to them for joining in and tuning in. But I have to give you guys these facts right here. It will make your beard hair grow. People fail to realize in 2017, the Eagles fan base that barely know football, they would talk about fly Eagles fly all day. But in reality, it had nothing to do with throwing the ball. In 2017, what made them so successful were the ability to run the rock. They were top 3 or top 2 in running the rock, running the ball. And they controlled the middle of the field by passing the ball to their triple threat as it relates to tight end play. Tight end play, especially those that can vertically stretch the field, it will always be a matchup, especially when you have 8 or 9 in the box trying to stop the run. I would love to see Zach Ertz on a linebacker, constantly throughout the entire game. If you think I'm lying, let me know, have the Eagles won anything since they have not been in the top rankings as it relates to running the ball? On top of that, when you think about it, Carson Wentz throwing a little dink or dunk off pass to the Miles kid, and he takes it upfield and these sorts of things. Those were the bigger plays from last year that allowed them to win the game. Case in point, when the Eagles beat the Green Bay Packers for those who watch Eagles football, who watch football, let me know what really opened that game up. A shovel pass to a little running back. Oh, the same situation that happened and when they played against the Bills. A little shovel dump off pass to the running back, and he takes it 30, 40 yards down the field. It's no hate at how they won, long as they won, but I'm just trying to give you guys some reference so that you guys can be more educated on the how you guys won. Not just looking at it and looking at the end stat results and say, hey, he passed for 300 yards. He passed for 280 yards. But how did he get to that number is the main figure. Let me know if I'm lying, Cowboy Nation and Eagles, if you're out there, watching today. Eastside Harold, I'm 19. I don't need to worry about keyboards warriors. Shout out to KFT, man. He's ready to y'all fighting amongst yourself. Eagles were top 5 in rushing the defense in 2017, but they want to give Wentz all of the credit. Chris, oh my goodness, man, on Facebook, man, shout out to you, man. He just put it. He just put all what I said into one sentence, basically. Oh, my goodness. Chris, man, you're a dog over there, man. I really appreciate you holding it down for me over there on the Facebook groove. Them birds. Let me read what them birds had to say, man. Law Nation, Noel, how come Wentz was going to be MVP in 2017? Was all the runs Eagles run with the, question mark, 100? You guys know. You guys know how the MVP go. You guys know how the Rookie of the Year goes. I'm going to keep it 100. Let me keep it a beam. This was my young dog. We're going to have the late night hype later on tonight. My young dog, Skywalker, still with the new field. He said, I'm going to keep it a beam. I'm going to keep it 100 with you all. In 2016, the Rookie of the Year was given to Dak Prescott. But everybody who watch football knows that belongs to Ezekiel, the main man, Elliott. Let me know if I'm lying, right? We all know that even in the Super Bowl MVP, they gave it to Patrick Mahomes. My homie. That's how O'Shea Sharp will call it. But everybody who watched the game with their natural eyes know that the Williams kid deserved to have that MVP. We know how this thing goes. So let's not lie to kick it. Let's not sit there and say that in 2017, Carson Wentz, if, the prefaces of the statement, he was the reason why, they was on this MVP run. Let's go back and watch the game. You can't see, the thing is, when you talk to somebody who cheated and got their homework done, they can't show their work. But Law Nation, guess what? I can show my work. I can show my work with facts. It make my beard hair grow. I love chopping it up with you guys. Let's go, baby. Let's go, man. I love y'all, man, regardless of the situation or the facts. I really love football collectively, and I love talking about this thing. Cowboy Nation, you guys know how this thing go, right? One day at a time, one movement at a time, brick by brick. We stack these things together, and we will find. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Got to play my music to get on out of here, but you guys know how this day goes, Cowboy Nation. Where my music at? 5, 4, 3. Let's go. Yeah. Come on, nation. The facts will always set you free. The facts of the matter will always put you in the right situation. And the craziest thing, you don't need a ladder to change this thing. Let's continue to grind, good nation. I want to tell you guys this, man, and I know. Some people, it might go over their head. Some people might say to themselves, hey, this team haven't done anything. This team will not do anything. This team is this team. But I like to bring this up and just bring this up for facts for you guys. While my system is loading, let me end this right quick. Bam. Give me a few seconds. Let me just sink into your mental. How bad do you guys want to be here? Huh? There we go. How bad you guys want to live in a world where everything is right? How bad do you guys want to live in a world where everybody is right? That world doesn't exist, not right now on this plane, right? But I will say this. If you could change your mind and refocus and understand that when the pitfalls are there, they are there to make you better. I tell people when I go through the struggles, I tell people like this, it makes a better success story. Nobody want to know how somebody just made it in life without the struggle. You got to grind. Some people say, Law, I'm too tired. Law, we went through this thing numerous of years with Jason Garrett. Man, before Jason Garrett, we had Wade Phillips. Before Wade Phillips, we had a Bill Parcells who really put us out there. I think 2 times he made it to the playoffs with the limited hands that he was dealt with, right? We saw that grind action with Bill Parcells with experience. But before that time frame, we went 5-11 multiple times. I think 3 years in a row. The last quarterback to really show us anything as relates to being comfortable with the system was Troy Aikman at that time. And he won a Super Bowl with Barry Switzer. But he pulled philosophies from Jimmy Johnson. And that's going all the way back for most of you guys wasn't even born. Didn't know what a football was. But I come here to tell you guys that now we got somebody that identified with football, can understand the process within the process of football. His name is Mike McCarthy. And it's not just him. It's not just him. It's the multiple pieces that's around him that will elevate everything. So I tell people all the time, if you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, you might want to write this down. To give up your time and your peace and your sleep for it. If all of your desires of it makes you quite mad enough that you don't get tired of it, and it makes you hold all other things tawdry and cheap for it. If life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you'll gladly go out and sweat for it, fret for it, and fight for it, and lose all terror of God or man for it. If you will simply go after the thing you want with all of your capacity, strength and scarcity, with faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity. If neither cold, poverty, or famish, or fame, or sickness, or body or brain can turn you away from the thing you want. If dogged and grim and besieged and beset it with the help of Almighty Cowboy Nation, we will get it. Let's go one way or another. Appreciate the flames. Let's go, Cowboy Nation.